Y'all, I'm so excited. I went out of my comfort zone and I did a podcast interview about my book last week, and it should be out. I'm recording this Monday. It's supposed to be out sometime at the beginning of this week. And I just want to say that I feel like spirituality has been commodified by a lot of mainstream, very white culture entities, as well as capitalism, that make it seem like spirituality is only one thing in a modern sense, or it's Christianity. And there's so much in between. I remember a couple years ago when I started meditating, and I used to, just sit in complete silence for like an hour. Called I think it's Vipassana. I'm a bad Buddhist. I can't think of exactly how to say it, but it's that one where you're, clearing your mind. I got fibromyalgia, got really depressed. I couldn't sit still anymore. And so one of my very, very, very amazing friends in ministry, James, shout out to James, taught me everything I knew when it came to sitting, but it was like I was just achy and everything, and we just started taking walks. So then I started following Tara Brach, who Tara Brach's most famous book is Radical Acceptance. Is probably like her most famous book. And in Maryland, she goes in person to a particular church. So I was going to that church to sit and to listen to her, and she talks about mindfulness meditation. You're here in the real world. You have to be present and be able to take in what's around you, take in the noise, take in the bird chirping, take in the microwave going off. And so I was able to learn to meditate like that, and that has carried me from that time on to now. And so at that time, of course, I was in school. I was to become a minister, and they had us trying on different spiritual disciplines for a whole semester. So this is what made me write the book. We had people who were ascetics, who were monks and went in the caves, the Christian ascetics who were in the caves for months on end. And there were people who fasted for months, or people who prayed several times a day, or people who flogged themselves, hit themselves with leather whips on their backs and Da Vinci Code and stuff. And it makes it seem like, and then martyrdom was another one. So people going into the Colosseum to profess their religion. It makes it seem like there's no other things that we still do like that are not the white things that get talked about. So when the mindfulness movement was taking off, the dishwashing meditation started to come out. And the dishwashing meditation is for these suburb moms, where it's like, focus on the dish, focus on the water, focus on the bubbles, focus on how it feels right in your hand. That's just regular mindfulness meditation. Like, for me, I started doing it in my car because I was cussing people out on the way to seminary, which you shouldn't do if you're going to be a minister. It's supposed to be peaceful. But this idea that there's no peace from Sunday to Sunday, that you have to keep coming back to this place because I'm going to fail you, is something wrong with that. Black or white, I don't care what color you are. If your church is like that, they're not teaching you anything outside of that space. There's something wrong with that principle, that you can't do things in between time to center yourself or to make you act better if it's not these particular lists of things that are holiness. That doesn't make sense. But then if it's not the particular list of holiness, and then it's not this whitewash Lululemon dishwater meditation, then what else is there? Because as Black folk, we create so much. We create everything. And so is us not zoning out so that we don't cuss anybody out washing the dishes not the same thing? Of course it is. Is us, my cousin loves a fuzzy steering wheel and really cool crystal gear shift in the car, is putting your hands on that stuff and clicking her nails and stuff. Is that not spiritual practices? Is that not meditative, to bring that spirit down, to bring you into a place where you can function? Of course it is. But it's also not playing your 90s R&B or your rap or your Genuine or your Juvenile on the way to work so you can act right for the day, so you have enough energy? Is that not prayer? Is that not worship? Right? So I wrote Trap Rituals for the Souls of Black Folk over this last year. And it's on pre-order because I'm just trying to fine tune, because I came up with so much more stuff than I wanted to. I originally was going to do 30, and then it turned into 55 things. So I'm going to probably whittle it down into 25 and 25, or just somehow come up with 100 and write 2 books with 55 things. But there's so many things we do that are spiritual. Budgeting, bullet journaling, taking a bath, meal prepping, having There's so many things that we do that bring us into ourselves, that create a space inside of ourselves that we can be our best self outside of ourselves. That's spirit. No matter what you call it, that's spiritual. And that's what I'm trying to get. So I wanted to talk about why I wrote the book, because I just launched. I'm a big proponent of just fuck it and do it. As Judge Lynn Toller says, sometimes instead of trying to get all your ducks in a row, you got to pick up your ducks and make a run for it. So I just picked up my ducks and made a run for it. Someone wanted to interview me for a podcast, asked if I had any projects I was working on. I was like, I've been writing a book for a year, so okay. Told her yes, and told her I would name it before I got on there on Monday, and that's what I did. And I stayed up all night and made a cover, because sometimes you just gotta say fuck it. By the way, one of the chapters is fuck that, and just saying I'm gonna fucking do it. Or I don't want to fucking do that. Yeah, fuck that is one, if you're looking forward to it.